Hey everyone, got some footage from the Land Park Crit in Sacramento from a week or so ago. This is the same course as our first race of the year was, Cal Aggie. I think it gets raced a few times during the year, but this time it's very wet, which changed the dynamic a little bit from the first time. Luckily, this course really only has like two pretty good corners. The rest of it's very wide open, like this part here, which makes it a lot easier to get through. The field was pretty good size for this wet of a race. Still had like almost 50 guys show up. I think it was 40, 47 or 49, which I was pretty surprised by. I didn't pre-reg, but it ended up raining all day and then stopped before our race, so I decided to go up and race. And I was pretty glad I did. It was a lot of fun. Everybody was racing very reasonably for it being wet. I feel like usually people decide to do stupid things when it gets wet out, and there's usually crashes, but everyone was well behaved today. So this is pretty early in the race. I'm up near the front here. This is like first 10 minutes, and game plan for this race was to cover moves that had the big teams in it, which is Team Mike Spikes, which are the guys in purple, Tyrone, the guys in pink, and then Volet, which is this team in front of me. So we don't have any separation here, just sitting up at the front, but I don't mind being up front for these corners. And we're actually, when we come through these corners, I'm going to take a peek back here when I pull through and see that we have a gap behind us. And they rang the bell for the preem the last lap through, so I decided to just hit it since we're coming up to the last corner of the course. We have this little straight, and then there's one corner, and then it's the final kick. So I figured I can hold everybody off for the preem, and then attacking through a preem is always a good time to try and start a breakaway. So I'm going to see if I can also maybe start a break. And so coming up to the last corner here, wasn't really that bad in the wet. I thought it was going to be worse than it was, but not so bad. Even with the paint in it, was still not horrible in the rain. So we're coming down the last straight here. I was looking back a lot because I wanted to make sure I got this preem since I had put a little bit of energy in now. Preem ended up being a $20 gift card, which I'll take it. They had a lot of preems in this race. I think there was like 9, which is more than they've had recently. And this is the line coming up right here, so managed to stay away. So 10 minutes in, it already feels like I won something. Love that. So didn't really come to try and snipe preems, but I just happened to be in the right position at the right time to go after that one, so I went for it. And then part 2 of that mission was to maybe start a break. And you see, that's why I'm still on the front committing a little bit of energy here, because I can see there's some guys coming across to me. And here they are. And I think we have a group of like 5 total. There's a couple more who are trying to come across, but I slot back in to just fill in the gap, make it easier on the last couple guys. And I did notice pretty quickly that all of the big teams were missing. But I was hoping that maybe if we sat out here for like a lap or whatever, that they would bridge across. But no such luck. We ended up just sitting out here for a couple laps. I just sped it up. We, rotate through, and then, yeah, there's another guy decides to come up to the front. But this break doesn't stick. Once we get brought back, the main break of the day is actually going to counter over us. My teammate Grant is going to be the one who starts that, and that break is going to stay away for most of the race until like 4 laps to go. So I think that was like 30 or 40 minutes of the race, so pretty big effort from them. They held off Mike Spikes for quite a long while. I was very impressed. Yeah, so there goes Grant on the left. This is coming into the corners, which is a good spot to attack in the wet since people were a little bit more tentative. And once they attacked, everybody kind of looked at Mike Spikes like, hey, you guys missed it and you have the biggest team, so your turn to chase. And that's what they did. They put their whole team on the front. They had like 3 or 4 guys just rotating through and riding tempo. And they did a pretty good job timing it. They brought it back on like 3 laps to go. So all the while this is happening, I'm just going to be sitting in the field and surfing wheels. Now I've got a teammate off the front, which is a good situation. It's always a good situation to be in. It means you don't have to do any work in the field. And now I'm going to skip ahead to the last lap in a little bit. There was some mud on my camera for a little bit, and it like kind of cleared itself off, so This is the first part where you can see what's going on again, but we're about to come into one to go. I'm a little bit too far back, but I am still surrounded by, I've got a Tyroon guy in front of me, which I figured he's going to want to move up. And the pace wasn't crazy fast. I actually had an opportunity to move up, further than I did on the right. Yeah, you can see the Tyroon train right there. All the sprinters are still right here, so I'm really not in a bad spot. Mike's Bikes is still on the front, but they are definitely tired at this point. I think this was a race where they could have been beat, but Tyroon kind of gifted them an extra lead-out guy through the last section of corners that I don't know if they would have made it to the front and taken the win if that hadn't happened. But anyways, on this last lap now, I should have taken a couple spots here. This Mike's Bikes guy was trying to move up. I should have been trying to go up on the right side there. I think if I had taken a few spots there, I would have been in a much better position for the sprint, but instead I sit back, and now I'm too far back at this point. While I was sitting in waiting for the brake to get caught, I definitely got a bit complacent, and I was not really paying attention to lap cards until I saw 2 to go, at which point it was a little bit too late, but still trying to make the most of it. So this is the first of the corners on the last lap. I was feeling really confident through those corners, but I didn't want to do anything stupid in the rain because I was already too far back. I didn't think that one corner was going to make a big difference, so decided to not do anything dumb through it. Can see the gaps kind of opening up ahead of me, so I know I'm going to have to make an effort maybe a little bit earlier than I want to. In my head during the race, I thought I was way back, 20th or 30th. I ended up finishing in 15th, which I was pretty surprised by when I saw the results, but yeah, big gap opening there. Come around it. This guy's going backwards, so I go to the inside of him, but I've missed the sprint train at this point. I'm not gonna catch back up to that and make up any spots, so pull the plug here. I'm always happy to just finish a wet crit with all of my skin intact, so check that box. We got loads more racing coming up in California, so if you want to see more videos of it, make sure you subscribe. Thanks for watching this one, and I'll see you all next time. Bye.